Hello everyone, welcome to What If Ash Joins Universe 7 in Tournament of Power Movie 1. Before we start, please go support God of Hope for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Ash is a male. Nobody knew that Ash had been missing for a year, but above all, nobody knew that the same chosen one would be the 10th participant who would fight for the survival of Universe 7 alongside Goku and the Z Warriors. But above all, no one would know that the same tournament of power would be broadcast in the Pokémon world. We see how Ash is doing, who occupied the 10th place that corresponded to Freezer. Chapter 1 I Need You Ash. 15-year-old Ash Ketchum has been through a lot in his life and his world. But no one would believe that the same coach would participate in what would be the most important tournament in the multiverse. And it was because some time ago the young coach, after losing the Unova League, had decided to train. But at that time no one knew of his whereabouts, not even Arceus knew. But suddenly when his sabbatical year ended he returned changed. Being someone more serious but without losing that good heart and his love for Pokémon that characterizes him for being who he is. He won the Kalos League, the Alola League and the Champions League. Victory after victory, beating not only their rivals but also the elites and champions themselves. No one knew how he had gotten his Pokémon stronger to the point where his own Pikachu could beat Zapdos himself without any problem. The answer would come when one day everyone was celebrating another victory in Galar. In the Pallet Village in Kanto, all of Ash's friends were celebrating with him at Professor Oak's ranch. Ash was happy, and not only because he had won but because he now had a relationship with that girl whom he had not been able to forget. Serena. Everything was perfect, although I missed some people. People who had helped him to be what he is now. I would like to see it, Master. What he didn't know was that his wish was going to come true. Since while he was talking to his girlfriend in the middle of everyone, someone appeared in the blink of an eye. Hello? Everyone was in shock as someone they didn't know appeared out of nowhere along with two other people. Nobody said anything until... Master Goku? Hello Ash, how are you? I'm so glad to see you. Ash, do you know him? Serena asked fearfully. If it's the one I told you about, my teacher who taught me to fight Son Goku. The Raven went to the Scion, and he hugged him along with Pikachu, who also received him. Hello Pikachu. I'm glad to see that you've also become very strong. Pika. Hey Goku, we're in a hurry. Explain everything to him so we can leave quickly. Of course, Mr. Bills. What are you referring to, Master? You see, Ash, what happens is that person had informed the coach of everything in front of everyone while the companions ate something delicious from the party. But let's just say Ash wasn't happy at all. Are you serious, Master? I'm sorry, I know I went too far, but I don't understand how Bulma hasn't killed him, or even worse, Lord Vegeta, for doing such a thing? So you need me to help you? Yes, I was thinking of recruiting Frieza, but everyone opposed it because he is very evil. Bulma and Vegeta suggested that you be our 10th participant. According to what you told me about this guy Freezer, he likes to destroy planets even if they are habitable. It is obvious that it was not a good idea, Master. And when is the tournament? In a few hours. Could you repeat yourself because I didn't hear you well? It's in a few hours. I know I told you without any notice, but I really need your help. I need you, Ash. Well, Ash, you're not going anywhere, young man. The one who spoke was none other than Delia, who was really angry about such things she heard. Mom, please, my teacher needs help. I said no. I don't want you to go fight against whoever it is. The coach slapped himself on the forehead. Ma'am, I know you think it could be dangerous, but I assure you that your son will return, said Goku, trying to convince her. My son doesn't have to do it. Madam, may I speak? The man with a cane and a calm voice spoke. The fate of Universe 7 will depend on how the fighters can fight the battle, and we need your son to fill a space. I promise you that your son will return when everything is over. Delia didn't know if she should trust the guy's words, but for some reason she trusted them more than her son's teacher. Okay, but please don't put your life in danger. As I told you, he will return when everything is over, but if he wants a favor for his son's participation, I will gladly grant it to him. For the woman, this was very tempting, since a favor from a very powerful being would be good, but she is a mother, and has never had the opportunity to see her son, either on her travels or in her battles. Hence, if there is a way, I would like to see the whole tournament. The angel smiled, knowing or hoping that was her request, as a mother would never pass up an opportunity to see her son's achievements. You'll see, in fact, I'm going to do something better since this planet has potential. Hey Goku, if you say that your disciple has potential, I want to see it. Let him prove it, said the god of destruction, while enjoying a slice of blackberry pie. That would be great, Mr. Bills. I also want to know how strong you have become since you left Ash. The coach smiled and denied his teacher's childish attitude when it came to measuring strength and power. When it came to fights. A few minutes passed and all the guests, along with their Pokémon and Ash's Pokémon, were there as spectators to see how well their friend and trainer fought alongside the two guys who came with Goku. While the trainer and Scion were face to face, both eager to fight. Ash, because on his planet the only ones who can fight him would be the legendary Pokémon at the level of Dialga and Palkia. And Goku, well, we already know what Goku is like. And getting into combat position, it began. Ash with momentum launched himself at Goku with a fist ready. Everyone except the god and the angel expected it to be something only seen in ordinary people fighting. How wrong they were. Since the moment Ash's fist hit Goku's hand, the ground cracked. A shock wave appeared along with a strong wind and dust that blew tables, chairs and small Pokémon away, except for Pikachu, who easily stood firm, and Ash's strongest Pokémon, who barely resisted. The only thought of all those affected was, what the buck? Suddenly both fighters disappeared from sight. What was happening? They fought at a speed that was astonishing and undetectable to the normal human eye. But Ash's Pokémon watched as Ash threw punches that Goku evaded and returned for the trainer to do the same. Suddenly, loud banging noises were heard, as if they were thunder, all the way to a mountain, scaring the wild Pokémon and almost deafening several of them. Serena couldn't believe that her beloved was someone far from normal and fighting like that. What the hell, I can't see them, said Brock, stunned by such power. They move too fast for our eyes to perceive them, Clement spoke, giving his theory. That would be impossible. You would have to have a speed greater than lightning to move like that, and not even Pokémon can reach that level, said Gary, stunned by such power of his friend and rival. Everyone was incredulous at such a thing. Ash Serena was incredulous at such power of her beloved. But everything was going to get worse. Shockwaves were displayed with each hit, and Ash's Pokémon watched as both fighters at ridiculously higher speeds collided with each other, destroying trees, leaving sinkholes in the ground, and even turning the top of the mountain into rubble, further scaring the wild Pokémon that were now fleeing the place, alerting several legendaries in the region. Suddenly Ash launched himself and both of them hit each other and blocked. And what left Ash's friends even more astonished was that they did all of this in the air, as if gravity itself ignored them. They both moved away and then launched energy which, when colliding with each other, generated an explosion along with a shock wave that made Ash's friends cover their eyes from the wind and dust. They both looked at each other. Then smile. Ash, you have become very strong. I can't be more proud of you. Thank you, Master, because you taught me well, and I don't mean to brag, but I haven't taken out my full power. I know that, Ash, just like I haven't reached my maximum either. What do you say we fight more seriously? Saying while showing a flare of transparent white energy around him. I say let's go, said Ash while doing the same. And just when I was about to level up. Hey, stop already. They both stopped at the scream of Ash's mother, who was really angry. If you keep going like this, you're going to destroy the ranch or even Pallet Town. Look what you did for your fight. And what the woman said was true. Almost most of the ranch was destroyed. Oh no, now I'm really dead, said Ash, afraid of the punishment his girlfriend or his mother might give him. Snails, I think we went too far, said Goku, scratching the back of his neck carelessly. There are some anger symbol. Come here now. They obediently went down and sat in Siza to receive such a sermon from the lady that she did not hold back at all. Ash's friends were still in shock, knowing now that their friend was capable of doing such a thing. They had never seen such a kind of power before, and the worst thing was that Ash does not usually lie or brag. If he did so much destruction without really putting up a fight, what would have happened to the whole place if he had? Honestly, they don't even want to imagine it. Regarding the god of destruction next to the angel, they had their conversation. Well, Mr. Bills, what did you think? Not bad. I've seen enough for him to be the 10th participant, but didn't you notice something, Wills? I noticed, Mr. Bills. It seems that this boy is a box full of surprises. Interesting. Okay, get the place ready so we can leave. As you say. The angel raised his staff and waved it, and then, as if nothing had happened, the entire destroyed place would return to how it was before the fight, leaving the spectators in awe. The god approached the warriors. Hey kid, I hope to count on you in the tournament. We have to go before we run out of time. Use teleportation to get to Earth, Son Goku. Yes, Sir Bills, just give me a minute to feel Gohan's ki. I'm sure he must have already been warned. Great, I hope to see Goten and Trunks. I wonder how much they have grown. Ash had said, excited to see his friends on Earth. Ash. The black-haired boy turned to see someone he knew who was not alone. Mutuo? It was Mutuo along with several other legendaries who came to find out what was going on. I already feel Gohan's ki, we can go. The god and the angel who spoke to Delia touched Goku's shoulders, and Ash was going to do the same. I'll explain it to you when Mutuo returns, and please tell Arceus that I'll be back soon. Ash. He turned around to see how his beloved girl ran towards him, and then hugged him and kissed him by surprise, leaving his teacher surprised but happy. When the kiss ended, she looked into his eyes. Please promise me that you will be safe, and above all that you will come back when everything is over. I promise I'll be back, Serena, and when I get back you and I will have a date. With those words, although he didn't take away the concern from the Pelamiel, he did leave a smile on her beautiful face. Then his Pokémon had appeared. Pikachu, I'm sorry I can't take you, friend, but please promise me that you will take care of Serena until I return, he said while taking his little friend and putting him on his beloved's shoulder. Pika Pie. Well, I'll leave it to you. With that, he took Goku's hand and looked at his friends for the last time. To your Pokémon. To his mother. And above all, to his beloved. He didn't know what was waiting for him there, but one thing was certain. I wouldn't give up until the end. And with that, he disappeared. Meeting and the tournament. On a very peaceful planet called Earth, all the Z warriors who were going to participate in the Tournament of Power were gathered at Bulma's house. And just then those who were waiting appeared. It was Goku with Ash. Ash. Ash, I'm glad to see you. Gohan Krillin. The coach went to hug them since they were his best friends when he arrived on Earth. In fact, he looked at Gohan as an older brother. Where are Goten and Trunks? They took care of my island while I'm gone. I'm 17. I'm Ash Ketchum. I feel like you look like someone. It's my twin brother Ash. It's nice to see you again. Me too, Miss 18. Then a woman with short blue hair hugged him happily. Ash, I'm glad to see you again. Look how much you've grown. Bulma. For Ash, she was a good friend who helped him return to his world. But then he looked at someone he has a lot of respect for. Mr. Vegeta. The Scion Prince stood in front of the trainer. I see you haven't stopped training, kid. Apart from not wanting to see the insect Frieza, I also wanted to know how strong you've become. Don't disappoint me for recommending you. I assure you that you will not regret it, sir, he said, bowing in gratitude. Then he went to Piccolo, who before Ash spoke to him took off his hat. Think fast, he threw the hat at him, and Ash took it with one hand as if it were nothing, demonstrating the good reflexes he has. I have it, but why did he do it? Will you hold this for me? Thanks. The Namekian throws him his shoulder pad and cape, which he also takes as if it were nothing with his other free hand. If you're going to throw something else at me, Mr. Piccolo, at least let me put what I have on the ground. Have you forgotten, Ash? Forget what? Suddenly, due to carelessness, the objects fall and make holes in the ground, going down to the first level and beyond the ground. I always train with heavy clothes. Ash. I'm sorry, Bulma, I'll fix it. All this made several people laugh, even the Supreme Chaos Samus. He spoke with Ten Shinhan and Master Rashi, who were glad to see him. Once everyone was gathered, the Supreme Chaos-sama spoke about the plan which Vegeta did not agree with. There were disagreements, but someone spoke. "Excuse me, Supreme Chaos-sama, but I think the plan will be useless if we have some who will go to fight alone or plan to do so. So what do you suggest, Ash?" "It is a pitched battle, but there are two possible scenarios. The rival universes join together temporarily to eliminate us, or that they concentrate on attacking each other. The best thing would be for each one to go in pairs so that in case of a stalking or ambush they have some support. More so if the situation is unsustainable, or the enemy is very powerful, they must launch a sphere of ki into the sky so that a nearby companion goes to their aid." "That seems to be a good strategy, Ash." "Thanks, Gohan. Anyway, this is only if you want to follow the plan. You are not obliged to follow it, but we would have more chances of winning and surviving." In the end, no one said anything other than nodding and looking at each other in agreement with the coach. "Master, Mr. Vegeta, I know it's a lot to ask of you, but please, if you go alone, at least help us if we get into trouble." "HMP. Of course, Ash, we will help them." After that, Wills called the Z Warriors to leave, and for that everyone had to hold hands according to him, and let's say that Vegeta's pride didn't please him, but thanks to Bills it was done. With that, Ash saw how Vegeta looked at Bulma, and smiled knowing that she was still that person who knew and loves his family. Vegeta for Ash was another example to follow as much as his master Goku. When we arrived at what was the place of the tournament, a huge platform watched as other subjects with almost the same clothes as Bills were finishing assembling it. While 18 called the attention of the others, who saw that beneath the sand there was nothing but empty and dark space. Wills had said that if one fell from the sand he lost, although Vegeta argued that they could fly. Something that didn't work for him, since no matter how much Goku tried to use the flying technique he couldn't. At that, 17 pointed out two participants from Universe 10 who were a bird guy and a butterfly girl who were flying, and Will said that they were because they had wings that helped them fly. Something that Ash, analyzing the situation, suddenly realized and smiled. Those from Universe 6 arrived, and both Goku and Vegeta spoke with Kaede, a scion who was with two other girls who were also of the same race, Kailafa and Kale. Others from other universes arrived, and Goku along with the Z Warriors felt a very powerful ki coming from the participants of Universe 11. Just like Ash, who knew not to take those from Universe 11 lightly. They were about to introduce the participating universes, and the Z Warriors were ready. But without them knowing it. Unbeknownst to Bills. Unbeknownst to any other universe. Wills on his scepter was transmitting all of Ash's coexistence and his actions. It was broadcast on the Oak Ranch. It was broadcast in the center of each city in Kanto. Johto, Hone, Shernan, Unova, Kalos, Alola, and Galar. Not forgetting Orange Islands and other islands where Ash had been leaving his mark in those places. But where it was most shown was in the Hall of Origin. Place where the father of all Pokémon resides. Arceus. He had been informed of what happened to his chosen one, and he was not at all happy, but after Mutuo's words he managed to calm down, now watching the tournament with his legendary children, and hoping that Ash not only wins but manages to get out of there alive. They all admired the chosen one for how he helped them and Salvo, but the most worried were those who had direct contact with him like Latias and Meloetta, who wanted to be there to support him. In the regions of Hone, Shernan and Alola there were those who had a strong feeling for Ash. May, Dawn, Lily, Lulu and Lana. They had not gone to the celebration because they could not bear to see Ash happy with the one who managed to win the trainer's heart, and now that they were watching the meeting they were hoping with great concern that their beloved would come out of there alive. Supported by their families they watched the tournament. Champions, Elite Four and gym leaders were also watching the tournament, and more so those who specialize in fighting types who dedicate their time and lives to martial arts, hoping that Ash would win. Paul and other rivals of Ash watched the tournament hoping to have revenge against that trainer and above all to learn that power that he has in order to be stronger together with their Pokémon. Cynthia, the champion of Shernan, was worried, waiting for how that boy who gave her a good Pokémon battle would perform in that tournament, but also that he wouldn't get hurt or injured, and she didn't deny it. She had fallen in love with him, but she did nothing when she saw how happy he was with that Kalos coordinator girl. Everyone was watching, and at the ranch Delia prayed to whatever god or deity that her son would come out alive. She already lost her beloved husband and couldn't bear to lose Ash. And Serena had the blue ribbon in her hand. That ribbon that Ash gave her that day. With it she prayed to the deities that her beloved trainer would come out alive, but above all that he would come back safely. Ash didn't know it. In fact, none of the Z Warriors knew it, but his exploits in the tournament were going to mark a new era in the Pokémon world, motivating not only future trainers but current ones to surpass their limits. And not to give up until the end. The Tournament of Power begins. The tournament was about to begin, and the High Priest, who was on a floating platform in front of Xeno-sama's box, made the introduction of the participating universes. Universe 2. Ash had heard of the presence of a Yatteran, and received a warning from Goku to be careful, although he noticed how that green-haired girl was watching him. In the Pokémon universe, some trainers saw the participants and thought they were pretty, but the girls, especially Serena, did not like how the green-haired girl looked at Ash. Universe 3. The older participants looked like they were wearing armor, or others were robots. Something that in the Pokémon world Clement, and more trainers dedicated to inventions got very excited about such technology. Universe 4. His warriors were varied, but there were only 8. Something Gohan pointed out, and Ash knew he had to be careful around them. More so when Ten Shinhan said he had felt almost hidden presences. Universe 6. Ash recognized a powerful rival in that purple guy with a trench coat, and he already wanted to face him. In the Pokémon world, Mewtwo had suspicions about that guy named Frost who gave him a bad omen. Universe 7. Everyone in the Pokémon world supported Universe 7, not because Ash was there, but because they expected him to win for the survival of their world. Universe 9. Nothing to say, but there were interesting guys like a trio of wolves. Universe 10. The Pokémon world became interested in the biggest ones and those that could fly, which gave them an advantage. And finally, Universe 11. Arceus, like the trio of dragons, noticed something in those from Universe 11 and more in that guy in the middle. That guy was no ordinary guy. Not for nothing, but all the fighters are amazing, Krylin said, surprised by such variety and power of the fighters from the other universes. That's right, Ten Shinhan seconded. Don't lose your temper, said 18, so as not to give in to fear. When we start, regroup and reinforce our defense, and if any enemy approaches, remember to work as a team. Is that clear to you? Gohan ordered. Don't give me orders, Vegeta complained. Gohan, that would only work if we are all the target. Don't forget, Plan B. I understand, Ash. And with a few words from the two Xeno-samas, the tournament was about to begin, although those in the Pokémon world found these beings so childish strange. Then the High Priest appeared and reviewed the rules of the tournament. The tournament time is 100 tags. The pillar in the middle of the arena marks the time. If it reaches the end, the tournament will be over. Did he say 100 tags? It's like 48 minutes on Earth. But that's a short time. 48 minutes where 80 participants will fight. Anything can happen, was what Professor Oak said. Suddenly he received not just one but several calls from his fellow teachers who were also watching the broadcast. In the room of origin, the legendaries knew that anything can happen there, and more so Meloetta and Latias, who had all their attention on the screen to see Ash. Fighting techniques are valid, but using weapons and killing is prohibited. It would be the same as a Pokémon battle. Killing your opponent's Pokémon in a battle would get you disqualified, said Norman, who, with his wife and children May and Max, watched the tournament in the living room of his house. And more so with May having Ash's full attention on the screen. Calm down, May, he'll be fine, her brother supported. I hope so, Max. I wouldn't know what to feel if he were hurt or worse. Me too. I also want you to teach me how to fight. No way, young man, the mother scolded. They must knock down their opponents and throw them out of the combat area. Wounded fighters will be considered safe only until they are thrown out. Well, we'll have to get clever during the fight, said Master Rashi, already having plans in his mind. But if Ash is in mortal danger, and he is not outside, aren't they really going to get him out of there? Dawn questioned, fearful for the well-being of her secret love. I'm afraid that if Dawn, Ash must figure out how to get out in case his life is in danger, said Dawn's mother, who both watched the tournament at home. Skills that prevent falls such as floating are prohibited, however fighters with wings have the ability to fly. None of the Universe 7 have wings, it's obvious that they are at a total disadvantage, Lance said. Who was in a meeting with all the Elite Four and champions of the 8 regions along with Goodshow and Tucker, who brought the Battle Frontier brains. Ash will win, he always gets out of trouble, Annabelle had said, supporting the boy she loves. We must have faith in him, he is not a champion for nothing, Cynthia said, praying for Ash. Should we talk to him and convince him to teach us how to use that energy, as he calls it? It's ki and energy similar to aura, and I don't think he wants to do it, said Diane, not so sure about Lance's proposal. No matter how injured they are, objects that help them regenerate are prohibited. These are the rules they must follow. So if Ash has a serious bleeding wound, he won't be able to heal? Asked Lily, feeling the worst for her beloved Ash. She and her friends Lulu and Lana watched the tournament in the living room of her mansion, watching over her beloved. He's going to be okay, I hope, Lulu said hopefully. We have to have faith in him, Lana said, also hopeful. The 3 of them held hands and watched the tournament with hope. But at Professor Oak's ranch, just like the aforementioned Serena, supported by Delia, hoped that her beloved would come out of there alive. Hoping to see you again and be happy by your side. Murmurs could be heard in the fighting arena from all the fighters about the rules. And then Goku spoke excitedly. Alright, let's get started with this. You don't change, Master, but I don't deny that I also want to start, said Ash, doing the same as Goku. Gohan tried to go over the main strategy, but it was obvious that Vegeta didn't agree and even called the strategy boring, making Krillin sigh at how stubborn the Prince of the Scions was. Then Ash noticed with his master looking at someone robust with a big mustache and a red and black suit. According to what he was told, his name was Topo, and he fought against his master, leaving his fight inconclusive. Ash was also hoping to face him. Honestly, he feels all the hostility in the air. And that excited him, inheriting that from his teacher. Very fighters of each universe, pay attention, and now get ready. The silence was tense, and the wait was overwhelming for all participants. In the Pokémon world, they were also waiting for the start, and everyone was praying to any deity that Ash would win, even the legendary ones, with Arceus himself having faith in his chosen one. Let the tournament of strength begin, he raised his hand and then lowered it, starting the battle. Let's fight. At that moment, everyone rushed into battle, shouting war cries at their opponents. And the first contact was with Topo dealing with a rival. Some were fighting with their fists, others on shoulders, and others kicked more. Then the multicolored energy attacks came out. It was a real pitched battle, and the arena was filled not only with fighters facing each other but also with multiple explosions of energy and shock waves at speeds imperceptible to ordinary eyes. It was a battle without equal. And just like the Xenos Samus, all the gods looked impressed. In the Pokémon world, everyone couldn't believe that battles like these were real. No normal person would survive that hostile environment. Ash, please be careful, were Serena's words, watching over her beloved. The battle had begun. And anything can happen in the next 48 minutes of the tournament. First eliminated. The battle had begun. Nobody took their eyes off the screens. Everyone in the Pokémon world and even the Pokémon themselves watched the fierce fight that the participants from the 8 universes present were carrying out. At Oak Ranch, Delia looked at everything, wishing she was there. I knew that the only thing I could do would be to support my son. Pikachu and Ash's Pokémon watched the match. The electric Pokémon knew what a warrior with Ki could do, so he wasn't surprised by all the fuss, but he wanted to be on his friend's shoulder to help him in that fierce battle. The strongest looked and felt weak before those warriors who are capable of destroying planets without any problem. Ash's loved ones, on the other hand, hoped that everything would go well at the meeting. He focused on seeing the Z warriors in the middle of all the chaos. Wow, they sure like to attract attention. I think I've seen it. Goku left the circle to go to his target. Dad, wait. Topo, fight me, he shouted when he saw that his rival was facing someone who seemed to be made of metal. But he didn't count on another warrior from Universe 4 getting in his way, causing them both to face each other. "Dad, please wait, we have to work as a team," Gohan reminded him. But he didn't count on 3 others leaving the formation, which are 17, 18 and Vegeta, who each went their own way. It was obvious that this was going to happen, Gohan, and from what I see the other universes are attacking each other, so it is better to go to plan B. Be careful and give a signal if you find a powerful enemy, said Ash, who also left the formation. "Ash, where are you going?" "To kill time. It's been a long time since I fought with someone strong," he said, and then disappeared into the chaos. "But forget it, Gohan. You know that Ash is almost the same as his master." Leaving the remaining Z warriors and the Pokémon world in disbelief. Delia already had many ways to punish her son for not taking the situation seriously. The girls are still very angry with him. The champions, Elite Four, Frontier Brains and more slapped their foreheads for believing that those rebel warriors represented them as Universe 7. Cynthia and Annabelle only had one thought: to educate Ash well. But they should know that this was Goku's fault for passing on his tricks of wanting to become stronger. Bills slapped his forehead at the irresponsibility of his warriors. "Unruly vermin. Cheer up a little, Mr. Bills, we still have Plan B from young Ash." "Well, I hope you follow it to the letter." The chaos continued in the arena and the key explosions kept appearing and appearing. Suddenly a robot from Universe 3 came out at high speed and extended its arms, and then spun like a top, hitting the 3 girls from Universe 2 who managed to get away. Making the goddess of that same universe complain about such barbarity. 2 warriors from Universe 6 and 11 saw him approaching and had to move away. It was obvious that this technique was aimed at getting as many people out of the arena as possible. "That's playing dirty, his speed is incredible." "I agree with that god, he doesn't even give you the chance to defend yourself," Brock said. "Its propulsion system and long limbs make it an excellent rotating machine. Whoever created that robot is a genius," Clement also pointed out, praising such a machine. "Brother, it's not time for that, we have to support Ash," Bonnie scolded. And then the Supreme Chaos-sama of Universe 3 boasted that it was a survival strategy alongside the god of destruction who spoke and was interpreted by the angel. The robot continued to create more chaos by hitting more warriors. It seemed unstoppable. But suddenly one of his limbs buried itself in the ground with a kick, stopping his rotation. It was that guy from Universe 6. "Look, it's hit, well done, hit." And then another kick buried his other limb, revealing a red warrior wolf from Universe 9. "Way to go, Vasil," was the shout of the Supreme Chaos-sama of Universe 9. Taking down the robot without mercy. "No," Clement shouted very sadly and on his knees seeing the robot defeated. "Brother, control yourself," Bonnie scolded him again. It was the same with the champions. With Nolad he took off his cap and observed a moment of silence. It was obvious that this would happen. Universe 3 was confident in that kind of dirty tactics, was the opinion of Steven, champion of Hone. Then another battle arose between Vasil and the butterfly girl of Universe 10 who, no matter how hard she attacked, could not hit the red wolf. "She's very fast," said Diantha. It was obvious since she has the advantage of flying. Ash would have to be very resourceful if he were to face her, Lorelei also said, analyzing everything. Suddenly they saw how he prepared a red key sphere from his foot, hitting the girl and then making another one, and thus throwing her out of the arena. "He left," shouted Lulu. The girl from Universe 10 fell into the void of darkness, still screaming, but suddenly reappeared in the stands next to her Supreme Chaos-sama and her god of destruction. "What happened?" Max asked, not believing what he saw. "I understand, when you fall from the combat arena you appear in the stands." At Master Roshi's words, the legendary ones knew that such power was the work of very powerful gods. And then with the announcement of the High Priest the Xenos, Samus clicked on the image of Rillabu and it darkened. "I was officially eliminated." "It's a shame she was the first to be eliminated from the tournament," Lana said with pity. "Poor thing," was Lily's thought. It was seen how the elephant god scolded his warrior for being the first to fall in the Pokémon world. They felt sorry for her, and the girls even more. The battle was still going on, and those who went alone had their fights against other warriors. Everyone in the Pokémon world couldn't take their eyes off the screen because it was so epic. But something that Arceus noticed was that this guy named Jiren had never even fought. In fact, every warrior who approached him changed his mind and went to look for someone else. But Goku doesn't seem to be intimidated by his gaze. Something Ash saw from afar, knowing what his master was like. But then he saw how he was held by someone from Universe 4 named Nink. Master Ash was immediately going to help him, but two warriors got in his way. Nink continues to tighten his grip on Goku, but he manages to pull his arm out and hit his face, but everything got worse when Nink, still holding Goku in her arms, approached the edge of the sand. His plan was to fall with Goku in order to get him out of the tournament. Oh no, Serena screamed, afraid for her beloved's teacher. Ash, stop wasting time, go help him, Gary shouted angrily. Get out of my way, shouted Ash, who was still dealing with those warriors and managed to get past them. And just as he approached, he saw how he freed himself using a bright blue transformation and then returned to the sand and back to normal. And a Nink who appeared in the stands receiving kicks in the head from his god Quatella, being officially the second to be eliminated from the tournament. Gosh, I almost fell, Goku said nonchalantly. Ash blinked a couple of times and then trembled with anger and looked at his master head on. Growling, what is your problem, master? Huh! That guy could have kicked him out of the arena for not paying attention. If Pikachu was here, I would give him many electric attacks for worrying me like that. Next time, pay attention. Everyone in the Pokémon world didn't know what to say because Ash losing his temper like that is something never seen before. And more Delia, who reminds her of herself when she was angry, so she could only laugh nervously. I'm sorry, Ash. I promise I'll try not to get distracted, Goku told him, trying to calm him down. I feel like I wasted years of life, he said, exhausted by his master's nonsense. Suddenly they were surrounded by 5 warriors of Universe 9 whose intentions were not good at all. Hey, don't you think there are many adversaries against us? Although this kind of thing makes it more exciting, said Goku, putting himself on guard. You're hopeless, master, but don't let me take over the fun, said Ash, doing the same. Both smiling, causing many people, even those in the Pokémon world, to mistake them for father and son. This was just the beginning, and there were still 47 minutes of the tournament left. What will happen and who will be next to fall? Universe 9, goodbye. The battle was still going on, and Goku and Ash now joined forces to fight against the warriors of Universe 9 who had them surrounded. And the Kao-sama of the same universe spoke. Ha 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 ha, listen to me, Goku. Maybe you managed to survive, but you will regret them. You don't know how much I have waited to thank you, even though I didn't think it would be so fast. You better get ready. We, the most powerful warriors in Universe 9, will tear you to pieces. Without further ado, at ridiculously superior speeds, Goku moved, being followed by the wolves. With some conversation, the Scion faced the gray wolf named Bergamo with an exchange of punches and kicks, while Ash, using his speed, faced the rabbit warrior named Sorrel. She was fast and didn't leave him alone, attacking from many angles with kicks, but Ash managed to dodge without any problem until he accidentally grabbed her foot and made her spin to throw her away. Then he looked at his master fighting and having fun. The master is having fun, maybe I don't have to take this seriously. Then someone wanted to attack him from behind. It was another warrior from Universe 9 called Roselle who launched himself to attack him, but Ash, without having to turn around, he launched a blue key ball to make him fall to the ground. Then I turned to look at him. Well, you know that attacking from behind is wrong, right? She said while adjusting her gloves, looking at him seriously. While with Goku he was still fighting against the trio of wolves which were fast, and one of them even had poison in his hands. Suddenly the 3 of them turned until they formed a very unfair attack. The Triangle of Danger. In the Pokémon world, receiving attacks from angles that you cannot evade is dangerous, which gives you an idea of how dangerous wolves can be if they work as a team. They ran and attacked Goku mercilessly until Vegeta arrived and stood on his rival's back. Things got serious when the warriors of Universe 9 attacked Vegeta in a synchronized manner. They were a Catwoman named Hop, the wolf brother named Lavender, and a huge guy named Hyssop. While Goku was dealing with 2 warriors from the same universe, Cheppel and Comfrey, Goku could not penetrate the hard skin of the metal lizard. In the Pokémon world, everyone was watching. Vegeta has problems with that Catwoman, He won't be able to get out of those attacks, Iris said, analyzing everything. The worst thing is that ice attack, which is a serious problem, Misty said it would also be. At a Pokémon Center in Shernan, a young man with purple hair looked seriously at that scion. It was Paul who observed everything. What are you waiting for? Break their synchronicity. Look for the opportunity. It was the same with the champions. Those from Universe 9 are conceited, said Cynthia, very annoyed. Where is Ash? He could help you, Annabelle said. I think he's still busy with 2 warriors from Universe 9, said Lance, looking at everything. But then it was seen how Vegeta manages to break the synchronicity, making Lavender and Hop attack each other. Goku still transforms into Super Saiyan, sending the 2 he was fighting flying. Vegeta with kicks and a hammer blow caused Hop to destroy part of the combat arena. Sora was then seen in the stands. How did he get there? It was 18 who helped Ash with that rabbit, while he evaded Roselle's flying attacks. Then yellow electricity emerged from his fist to jump and hit him in the chest, sending him to the ground. What is this? I can't move. It's my Thunder Fist technique that is capable of not only causing damage, but also paralyzing the muscles in the affected area. Now I have to get you out of the arena. And with a kick he throws him out of the arena. Now only the dangerous trio remained. Thanks for the help, Miss 18. You're welcome. Next time I won't be able to help you, so choose better what you'll do. Yes, I will. I owe it to her, he said, and then left the android alone, who smiled at him. That boy is very imperative. While with Goku and Vegeta both dealt with the wolves until the 3 canines joined together very close to the shore, and combining attacks they launched the 2 scions. But they responded with more force, launching their key attacks, surpassing the trios and causing them to leave the arena. There were no longer Universe 9 warriors in the arena, scaring the Sidra god. There are no warriors left from Universe 9, it seems that they have all been defeated, therefore Universe 9 must be annihilated. What? Ash asked, not believing what he heard. What? Was what Ash's friends at Oak Ranch said. What? Was what the champions said at the headquarters. What? Was what the girls in Alola expressed. What did he say? Was what Giratina expressed, just like the legendary ones. But Arceus didn't say anything except closing his eyes. Universe 9 goodbye. And seeing how the Xeno Samus raised their power, they saw the warriors disappear. To the Supreme Chaos-sama. To the God of Destruction. And an image of that universe turned white. Everything then became silent. No one had said anything, and Will's words confirmed what they feared. Universe 9 was mercilessly erased. How many galaxies? How many planets? How many races? How many lives were erased? In the Pokémon world, no one dared to say anything. Not even the legendary ones dared to say anything. Arceus kept his eyes closed, hoping at least that those who disappeared had not suffered. The friends at the ranch were still in shock, and even some like Brock clenched their fists in helplessness at such an atrocity they witnessed. The girls cried, each clinging to their mothers, sisters, and companions because of the terror that those who were erased must have gone through. Serena, despite being terrified, was extremely worried as all her attention was on her beloved, who was still in shock in the sand. I just wanted him not to be affected by what he had witnessed. As for Ash, I just had in mind that now I was already very serious. There were only 2 results. You either win or you lose. And losing is not an option for him. He looked seriously at the high priest, who smiled without scruples at seeing a universe disappear. I swear I'm going to wipe that smile off your face, I swear. Without knowing it, his eyes began to flash red for a few seconds. Something very dark inside him had awakened something that must never come out. What's in store for the Z Warriors? Which one will be the next to disappear? And above all, can Ash save his universe without falling into hatred? The battle continues. There were murmurs of panic and terror in the fighting arena. And they couldn't be blamed. They had seen a universe disappear in less than 5 seconds without any mercy from the Xeno Samus. Goku and Vegeta remembered that battle where they faced Zamasu in the future. How Xeno-sama without any problem eliminated everything. Everything that Xeno-sama disappears, there is no turning back. The Angel of Universe 9 spoke as if nothing had happened in the face of the defeat and annihilation of his universe. Then the Supreme Chaos-sama of Universe 1 spoke. The annihilation of Universe 9 was a forced sacrifice. We knew they would be erased on a whim of Xeno-sama, but they were given a chance, and all thanks to Son Goku. Although once defeated, they must disappear to balance the level of power between the universes. That is the true purpose of the Tournament of Power. There were murmurs of possible annihilation if they failed. In the Pokémon world, everyone had paid attention to the words of the Supreme Chaos-sama. Everyone was afraid. Everyone was terrified. There was no escape. All they could do was wait for Universe 7 to win. Trust your warriors. Trust in Ash. This is beyond our understanding. If Ash and the warriors lose, we will be annihilated, were Landoris' words. We trust our existence to a child? We are damned. Silence, Tornaris, I will not allow you to insult Ash. It was the cry of Meloetta, who furiously looked at the legendary. He's going to win, we have to trust that he'll win this tournament, Latias said, also angry. The smaller legendaries agreed with the two legendaries. He helped them in the past, and they should not hesitate now. How dare you speak to me like that? Remember your place, Meloetta. Silence. Arceus calmly shouts, what could be a fight? In these terrible moments, the last thing he wants is for his children to fight. At the order, everyone calmed down, although she looked coldly at the trio of clouds. This is not the time for fights between you. We must support Ash and his friends. Whether he wins or loses, we must stay together for the good of our world. The situation calmed down, and the legendary Pokémon turned to her father. Father, when all this is over, I want to be Ash's Pokémon. Let me be by his side. Is that what you want, daughter? It's what I always wanted since I met him. Please, father, let me be happy by his side. Me too, father. I want to be by Ash's side, Latias also asked. My daughters, understand that if you make that decision, there will be no turning back, and Ash must be the one to accept it. We took it, they both said. Okay, girls, I'll talk to him when everything is over. They were so happy that they hugged each other with the little ones. Some legends, like the Cloud Trio, did not agree with the preference that the father had over the chosen one. They already had plans to remind him of his place as the human he was. While a blue Pokémon looked cautiously at the raven, fearing that something would affect it. Dad. At the Oak Ranch, Delia looked worried about her son, as did Serena, who thought that her beloved's mood was making him do something crazy. Meet Ash and know the great respect he has for life. He knows that he will look for a way to save or rescue what he can, even if it costs him his integrity or his life. Ash, please stay strong, stay with me. In the combat arena, the battle resumed again, and two warriors from Universe 6 approached the pair of scions. They were Hit and Bahamo. But only one of the scions stood up to them. Vegeta. Get out of the way. He transformed into Super Saiyan with a shout. He threw a direct punch at Hit, but was stopped by the bouncing body of the yellow bear, who got in the way while the Hitman disappeared from there. First you will face me. The warrior threw many punches, but they bounced off as if he hit a rubber band. It didn't hurt him at all. I didn't even move it from where it was. He doesn't move it even an inch, Brock said, surprised by such a body. Your body should be made of rubber, which either absorbs the damage or nullifies it. Gary gave his opinion. With the champions, they were the same. How is Vegeta going to beat someone like that? Everything he does is useless, said Fatima Elite 4 of Hone. You're not paying attention, girl. You don't win all battles by hitting them, replied Agatha Elite 4 of Kanto. It's a shame, brother. I regret to tell you that there is no way to harm the body of the great warrior Bahamo. Finish off that good-for-nothing. Quickly, Bahamo shouted the god of destruction, Kampa. Come here. He tried to grab the scion, but he was quick to grab his arm and use his strength with the intention of throwing him. But Bahamo predicted that and planted his foot so as not to lose balance. Don't even think that will help you. That's what you think. Suddenly he forces the bear warrior's arm, and then, unable to do anything, he sees how his arms were comically tied and he is lifted off the ground. I told you, girl, not all battles are won by hitting. That Vegeta is very clever, the old woman smiled. Excellent, keep going like that, Vegeta. Now throw him out, Bills shouted with excitement. Wait, I told you, time out, the bear shouted, trying to free himself. Time out, you mama bear. In the Pokémon world, no one could help but laugh at the Scion's good insult, not even the most serious ones. Oh no, we're bouncing, what are you waiting for? Someone help him, Kampa shouted as he watched his favorite warrior being taken out of the arena. It seemed that his defeat was imminent. But a whistle was heard and a metallic being ran straight to Vegeta, and with a blow to the back stopped the Scion, releasing Bamo. It was Magenta, the Iron Warrior. Then the bear bit his arms to free himself. Both warriors of Universe 6 facing Vegeta, who only smiled with arrogance no matter how unfair his situation was. Ash watched as Krillin dodged attacks from a bird type named Diam. Until the game stopped, I jumped to kick him out of the arena. Thank you very much, Ash. The Z warriors looked at Ash. He was serious, and not smiling. Ash, are you okay? Gohan asked worriedly. I am Gohan. You are a very notorious group here. You must separate as I told you. Give a signal if you are in trouble, he said, and then left. Hey, do you think Ash was affected by what we saw? Krillin asked. I don't doubt it. The boy appreciates life, so he must be angry right now. It would be best to prevent him from doing something crazy since he is Goku's disciple. At Piccolo's words, everyone nodded. While with Vegeta. Vegeta, that guy is affected by insults, insult him. Insults affect him, that jerk has low self-esteem, was what Kiawe said. You're a piece of junk, you metal contraption, you tin toy, you miserable piece of junk. It's useless, we are prepared for that kind of situations, it's time for the powerful warrior Magenta to take action. Vegeta just stood in disbelief at what he saw. Just like everyone else in the Pokémon world. And it was that Amo climbed onto Magenta's shoulders. This is the powerful combination, Magenta. All you did was cover his ears. That move is ridiculous, May said, somewhat embarrassed. But very effective, because if he can't hear the insults he won't be affected. Norman had seen many things, but this surpassed what he had seen in his life. Illegal move, that's an illegal move, Max shouted angrily at such cheating. The robot launched lava from its mouth and Vegeta dodged it, and then climbed on top of the yellow bear. Insect, get down from there, he shouted at him, giving him a blow that didn't affect him. The invincible Magenta. This was really so ridiculous that I'm not going to write it. Meanwhile, 18 was facing a warrior from Universe 4 named Xiaosa, who after being hit fell to the ground, but it was a trap to get her out of the arena. However, Krillin jumps in to rescue her. Something that all the women found very romantic. And working together they both defeated the Green Wolf. Oh, how romantic, Dawn had said. It reminds me of when I met your father, her mother had remembered. And after an encounter against a warrior from Universe 4 named Majora, who was guided by his sense of smell, they won again. Of course, using a very dirty technique. But I must say that sounds splendid. A flick of a tail takes him out of the arena. He was a scavenger warrior. Frost. Nobody saw it coming. But what I don't expect, Frost. What I don't expect, 18. In fact, what nobody expected was that Krillin fell back into the sand. That? Nice try. Floating in the air was Ash himself, arms crossed, with ki coming out of the sole of his sneakers as if he were Astro Boy or Iron Man. But that won't work for you. What the hell? Hey, he's using the flying technique, that's cheating, Kampa pointed out. Technically it is using your ki to propel yourself in the air, but it is not the flying technique, therefore it is approved, said the High Priest, giving approval, as did the Xenos Samus. What a surprise! That shows the excellent handling and control that this child has over his ki. There is no doubt that he will give us many more surprises. Will smiled in surprise. Ash went down to the ground and stood guard to fight along with Krillin and 18. They may have been saved, but the pleasure will not last long, he said to make a smoke screen and escape. TCH, coward, he cursed 18. Thanks again, Ash, you really saved me again. You have nothing to thank me for, let's get back to the battle. They both noticed that the same black-haired boy was still not smiling. Hey kid, are you sure you're okay? 18 asked, somewhat worried. I am stay away from the shore. I have a cowardly lizard to hunt, he said, and then disappeared. I hope he doesn't do something he might regret, said Krylon, also worried about his friend. Let's hope for the best. As for the stands, Ash seems to be taking this very seriously, said the Supreme Kao-sama, worried. This must have been because he saw an entire universe being annihilated and now he thinks he must do whatever it takes to save his own. It seems he won't play games, the ancestor also spoke. Well, it's better. At least one of them takes it very seriously. Come on, kid, get many out of the arena. While Ash did not listen to the god, in fact the only thing he had in mind was for his universe to survive its annihilation. Everyone in the Pokémon world was worried, while the coach's eyes for a moment looked red with hatred. Who else will fall? And what else will happen in the tournament of strength? Making an impression. The battle continued and Vegeta walked away from the duo of idiots until he encountered the Scion from Universe 6. Kyuubi. That without any problem he took out 2 warriors who were from Universe 3 and 10 in 2 movements. Ash, who was walking calmly, suddenly saw something he didn't like at all. 2 warriors from Universe 10 cruelly beat a woman from Universe 6. Kale. In the Pokémon world, everyone did not like that kind of treatment, especially the girls. Ash, do something, save her, Delia said worriedly. And Ash, being the way he is, he decided to intervene. Hey, you morons! He went straight to kick the red guy far away, then looked at the pig guy. How dare you butt in, kid? How dare you do that to her? Put her on the ground now. Good, he said as he throws her like a rag. You will face me. The pig type charged at him, and Ash withstood all of his strength. In the Pokémon world everyone was impressed by Ash, who could withstand such strength. It's like it resists the force of a Rhyperium, said Brock without believing what he saw. Hey, I think he's going to get it out of the sand, Kiawe said when he noticed something. With each step he was taken to the edge of the sand, but when this achievement came to a stop. I'm going to get you out of the arena. But that's what you wish, Fatso. He broke free and then kicked his chin off the ground. With his key turbines on his feet he imposed himself to take it and spin it around and then throw it powerfully to the ground, causing it to break along with the warrior, falling out of the sand. At the ranch, Charizard himself felt proud of the technique his trainer used. In fact, several of Ash's Pokémon want to face him when he returns. Ash just watched as he left, and then went straight to that girl and saw if she was okay. Hey, are you okay? She opened her eyes, and when she saw him she didn't know what to say. There was no malice in his gaze, only concern and kindness. I am, thanks. It would be better if you went back with someone from your universe and avoided facing someone alone. See you later, she said, and then left. Wait, who are you? My name is Ash, he said, and then disappeared into the smoke, leaving her surprised. Hey Kale, are you okay? Kylifa arrived, seeing her on the ground. Yes, I think so, sister. Well, we better get ready because there's someone we have to beat, he said, then looked at Goku, who was on guard while the Yatran of Universe 2 used teleportation. While elsewhere Ash was walking with thoughts in his head. Honestly, if I had known that the losing universes were going to disappear, I would have looked for another way. Then he looked at Gohan, who was fighting more, and moved away from his opponent. Hey Ash, what's wrong? Ever since Universe 9 disappeared, you've been acting very serious. The fate of our universe depends on us winning, but that would be at the expense of 7 other universes. Gohan knew he had to talk to him. Ash, you don't have to worry, we can bring those universes back if we try hard to win. They come back? And as if my master said that what Xeno-sama destroys there is no turning back. There is with the Super Dragon Balls. Super Dragon Balls? My dad didn't tell you anything? They are spheres the size of planets that when you gather them together you can make a wish without restrictions or limitations. They are more powerful than the Dragon Balls of Earth. Seriously, how is it possible that my teacher didn't tell me anything about this? Ash was very upset. That's why we must continue forward, Ash. We have to save them all, we must win the tournament. Okay Gohan, I'm going to fight very seriously and I'll give my best. That's how you talk, Ash. Well, I think that. Ash, what? Both of them had stopped because they suddenly felt a key rise tremendously to the point that it seemed unstable. And suddenly multiple green key attacks hit the entire arena, causing problems. Ash, who along with Gohan, covered themselves and then went to see what was happening. It was the same Scion from Universe 6 that the trainer helped. Kale. But now he looked like a totally different person than what I had seen. She destroyed everything in her path to the point that she brought out one from Universe 10 and another from Universe 11 who wanted to stop her by talking about justice. The legendaries looked on and couldn't believe that such a warrior who didn't appear to be powerful would cause so much chaos because of her anger towards Son Goku. Damn, we have to do something or it's going to be chaos. I'll take care of it, find Mr. Piccolo and stay with him. Ash, what are you going to do? He didn't respond as he disappeared from the Scion hybrid's sight. And just when Kale was going to attack Kailafa and be stopped by an energy sphere, suddenly in the blink of an eye the out-of-control Scion disappears from everyone's sight. Nobody knew what was happening. Toppo was going to ask Jiren what had happened until he saw him looking in one direction just like Goku and hit. All the warriors looked and saw the same Ash carrying Kale in princess mode who returned to normal, but there was something that worried them. And it was a very dark key that surrounded him and red eyes that, although calm, were evil. In the Pokémon world, Serena along with Clement and Bonnie couldn't believe what they were seeing. It was Ash using Hoopa's shadow. Hey, I'm not bad. Clement, do you know what's wrong with Ash? Brock asked seriously. It is the shadow of Hoopa, a power born from the hatred and resentment of the Pokémon Hoopa, which for a few moments took control of Ash's body some time ago. I don't understand how it is still there. Serena had the worst, since in that state she can become uncontrollable and more with her ki. But she didn't wait for the same trainer to calm down to return to normal and look at Hit calmly to give him to Kale carefully. Huh! Did you manage to calm down? And then a voice was heard. It was Goku. Gosh, Ash, that was amazing. I could barely see what you did. You hit the back of her neck to knock her out, and with one blow you destroyed the sphere that was coming towards you. You left me very surprised. It's not that big of a deal, Master. I just did what I had to do, says Ash, somewhat embarrassed. Master? Jiren said, not believing that someone strong who could dispel his attack as if it were nothing was a disciple of an idiot like Son Goku. Toppo was the same, and it was that since he saw Ash he had a good sense of justice and kindness. He doesn't understand why someone who would easily be a good candidate for the Pride Troops is a disciple of the troublemaker Son Goku. On the other hand, that green-haired girl from Universe 2 was not only impressed but delighted by such power and care for that girl. For her, that boy was like a hero. Ribrian-sama. She turned to see her friend Suroas. Let's go. We have to win. I already know what my wish will be when I win. She didn't understand what her friend was referring to, but she didn't object. Instead, Goku focused his attention on Jiren, who was still watching Ash. The tournament continues and the universes continue to fight for their survival. Who will win? The Pride Troops. At that moment, Goku was in front of Jiren asking him to fight, while Ash, who had given Kale to Hit, looked on waiting for what his master was going to do. Hey Jiren, fight me. There was a moment of tension in which Ash knew something could happen, but he didn't expect a surprise attack from Toppo, who came out of nowhere. Shine of Justice. If attack hit Goku many times, which made him go out of vision range. Master, he shouted worriedly for the Scion, and then stood on guard as he was taught. The same pose as his master. HMP, I don't understand how someone with a pure soul like you is a disciple of a big idiot like Son Goku. But since you're here, I want to offer you a deal, kid. Ash remained on guard, a little angry at how he spoke of his master, but he didn't say anything. Help us win the Tournament of Power, and in exchange we will use the Super Dragon Balls so that your planet along with all its inhabitants including you will live in Universe 11. You will have the opportunity to join the Pride Troopers without forgetting that they will be safe thanks to our justice system. What do you say? Would you join us? There was another moment of tension. In the Pokémon world, everyone had heard the deal. There was a divided opinion between those who wanted him to accept and those who did not. At the Oak Ranch, Delia hoped her son would make the right decision just like everyone else. The girls who were in love with Ash knew him very well. They knew that he would not accept. The offer is very tempting, but I'm going to have to reject it, Mr. Topo. They smiled, even the legendaries smiled. Ash wouldn't abandon anyone, especially his friends who are the Z Warriors. Serena couldn't be more proud of her beloved. Topo closed his eyes, somewhat disappointed but at the same time happy because that boy was not a coward. It's a shame, boy. You would have taken my place with the proper training and the most dangerous missions, but at least I can see that you're not the one who runs away from problems. Go now, before I decide to attack you, he said, preparing his attack. Thank you, Mr. Topo, and excuse me, he said with a smile as he put his 2 fingers on his forehead and disappeared. He had used teleportation, something Goku had taught him. Topo had told Jiren that they were going to meet to conserve energy, but he didn't listen. I wanted to know what made that boy so special. What made him so strong? Meanwhile, Ash appeared where Goku was with Caulifla and Kale. The first one accused the Scion of wanting to attack the second one, while she was defenseless. Hey, my master is not like that. I should complain to you for bringing someone who does not like to fight to this tournament because it is clear from a mile away that she does not want to be here. You are supposed to be her sister. You should help her better instead of putting too much pressure on her. What do you care? Said the girl, angry at the way he spoke to her. Calm down, Ash. Remember what I taught you. The trainer sighed at his master's words. Not letting yourself be carried away by anger is the best. But just when they were about to leave, 5 warriors from Universe 11 appeared, posing in somewhat strange ways. Their names were Kozerl, Tupper, Zwari, Kokot, and Kettle. We are the Pride Troops. Their presentation ended with a Power Ranger-style explosion. There was a silence not only with Ash and Goku but in the Pokémon world. Is this what they want to bring Ash into? A bunch of fools making ridiculous poses? Mutwo asked with a twitch in his eye. I'm very glad you don't accept because I don't want to imagine you doing that kind of thing, said Ligia, embarrassed. Although Latias and Meloetta imagined what it would be like for their beloved to do those poses honestly, they don't even want to think about it. Although they blushed a little at the thought of the coach wearing that tight suit. In the Ash Arena, for some reason, seeing that reminded him of some people he knew. I wonder how Team Rocket is? I hope they don't get into trouble while I'm gone, he said in a whisper. On the other hand, those mentioned who also watched the tournament somewhere in Kanto felt somewhat loved when they were remembered by the fool, as they call him. In the sand? Hey, isn't that the guy who stopped that crazy girl? Tupper said when he recognized Ash. Topo said he wanted to join the Pride Troops as he sees potential. Kettle looking at him seriously. For being so young he is very handsome and strong, commented Kokot, licking her lips while looking at him. Something that made the Jet Black uncomfortable. But in the Pokémon world, the girls in love with Ash and especially the legendary Pokémon did not like that. And more to Serena, who did not have good thoughts towards the warrior of Universe 11, something that everyone noticed, even the Pokémon. Serena, calm down, Clemont told her. But something happened that nobody expected. A surprising white power emerged from the Pelamil. And it was so strong that it sent several people flying. That was key. When she calmed down, she realized what she did. Oh no, I did it by accident. Hey Serena, what was that? Misty asked, very surprised. She didn't say anything except hug Pikachu, who was scolding her with his eyes. This is supposed to be a secret. I'm sorry, but I promised Ash not to tell you. It's obvious that Ash taught you how to use Ki, so seeing the result I can prove that it wasn't difficult for you to learn or use it, and if you could, then anyone here could easily awaken it, right? Gary said. She didn't say anything. Now I understand, this is very dangerous if this information falls into the wrong hands. At that time nobody said anything. Except Serena, who released some information. According to what Ash told me, being surrounded by Pokémon that are always full of energy and power, we assimilate it into our bodies until it wakes up. Then there is no way to avoid this, Brock said, knowing how inevitable it could be. While in the arena, Goku fought with Tupper and Zwari, who gave him problems. Ash evaded Kozerl's blows, which are not slow at all, until he counterattacked by jumping and kicking. The warrior of Universe 11 did not deny that the boy was strong, but he still did not understand why Topo wanted to have him in the Pride troops. Until suddenly Ash hit the ground and it shook violently. It was a grade 8 earthquake that unbalanced Khosrow. Ash took his opportunity to attack with ki in his fists. Each blow was strong, but something the guy noticed was that the blows increased his strength and power. 58-59. And he gave one more blow that hurt Khosrow's arms. The force of the blow made him crash against a rock, being trapped in it. How was it that you could? In my world there are creatures that use this movement. I made my own version, I call it Star Combo. In the champion's room everyone was impressed, and even more so Cynthia, who was able to recognize that movement, and was so proud of her beloved. It was fist increase. But it didn't last long when he saw how the coach was attacked from behind by the warrior of Universe 11. Kokot. You are a very strong boy, you would be a good element in the Pride troops. I'm sorry to break your illusion, but I already rejected that offer. It wasn't a question, honey, she said, creating a key sphere. But I don't expect her to be sent flying with a kick. The android twins had come to help. Hey kid, are you okay? Asked 17. It's just a scratch, it's nothing, said Ash, enduring the pain of the surprise attack. Don't you think it's unfair that they come to help you, kid? They only prevent you from being helped. Our fight is not over. You have guts to talk to me like that, but not enough to match me, sabers of justice. From his hands, sabers made of yellow ki came out of his hands. Uses ki weapons, spoke 17, something curious. Weapons, huh? Not bad, Dragon Claw. What the androids didn't expect was that Ash pulled out what were long green ki claws from his fisted hands. Incredible, he managed to recreate the signature technique of the dragon types. Ash, you are impressive, were Lance's words. That Claire, Drake, and Iris were also impressed by such skill. In the tournament it was no different. Each attack that Khosrow made towards the trainer was blocked by Ash, who managed to give some cuts to the beret warrior, leaving the god of destruction of Universe 11 even more surprised as he boasted about Khosrow. He teleports, he can fly, and he even creates power-enhancing techniques, and now he molds his ki. How many tricks does that brat have? The clown said angrily. Oh, Goku's disciple is impressive, yes, said Zeno-sama 1. Super impressive, yes, agreed Zeno-sama 2. The talent that Ash from Universe 7 has with ki is something that cannot be ignored. He could be the MVP of this tournament, said the High Priest, surprised by Ash. As for his battle, when he moved away a little, he saw how Khosrow received a signal on his communicator. Tupper was eliminated. The worst thing was that the remaining 4 decided to attack Khalifa and Kale in a dome, which not only made Ash angry, but also everyone in the Pokémon world. 17, 18 and Goku couldn't enter the dome. Kale watched helplessly as her sister was hit with ki attacks and more. He felt useless despite his sister's words. I wanted to help her. He wanted to become stronger for her. Kale. Suddenly she heard a voice. Kale, listen to me, you have to unleash your ki. You are very powerful, but your fear prevents you. Don't be afraid, defeat him like you will defeat those clowns. It was Ash who with his claws managed to create a fissure in the dome large enough to be able to speak to him. Ash? Come on, Kale, do it for your sister, do it for your universe, but above all do it for yourself. Never give up until the end. And with just those words she understood. The only ones who can set limits for her are herself, and now she is going to break them. Thanks, Ash. And taking out his power, he managed to transform without losing control. And both Scions managed to take out 3 with a powerful attack. Khosrow, Zwari and Kettle had been eliminated. When the dome fragmented, Ash couldn't stop smiling when he saw that girl now being a warrior. It was only a matter of time before she became more powerful. And with 18 launching a full sphere at Kokot, who intended to attack Ash, the battle was concluded. And letting go of the 2 Scions, Ash couldn't stop smiling with pride. But before. Hey Khalifa. What do you want? I apologize for how I spoke to you. I just hope that when we face each other we give maximum power. I accept your apologies and rest assured that I will not hold back. No matter how much Kale likes you, you will not have my approval until you beat me. With that, he left, leaving the coach confused. What do you mean by approval? Master, do you know what you said? No idea, Ash. I don't know why he said that. With the androids. You were right, 18. They are made for each other. I'm not surprised that they are confused as father and son. The boy admires Goku a lot. It is obvious that his teacher is very important to him. The tournament is still going on. And on top of a mound, someone was watching. Not only are you noble and pure, but you are also innocent. You are perfect for me. I want to have you in my arms, Ash. Ketchum. That person kept smiling and kept looking at Ash. This is not over yet, and the warriors continue in the tournament of power.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.